second episode of Two Friendless Friends. So, you guys have probably already seen our introduction and our first episode, and we would like to know your thoughts on that, so please leave comments below. And to start off today, Flora, how has the last week or so been?
Well, by the time that this is out, it'll probably be like mid-Jan, and we normally pre-record our episodes. So right now it's 5th of January, which means that last few weeks we went through, was it Christmas? Yeah, we had like Christmas and New Year's, which honestly was really, really good. I feel like I completely turned the year around in those last few days of 2020. And like ever since then, I've just been like living on this like cloud nine moment.
High?
Basically.
Like an all-time high, kind of?
All-time is a bit...
I think I've been on a low.
Wait, why?
Because I started off the year with notifications about an outbreak in my suburb for coronavirus. And like basically it started off really stressful, and it's getting more and more stressful as time passes, but like I think I have a lot to look forward to this year, so I think that's what I'm banking on, except we don't know if uni's gonna be shut down again, and if whether or not I'll be able to make new friends this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you definitely can. I don't think there's ever like a situation. What I'm trying to say is that like every like social situation you're in, you end up like meeting people, right? Even if it's not like a close friend, like you end up just talking to them, and in that moment it's pretty cool and fun. And I also
I guess.
Yeah, sorry. I also wanted to say that like in Sydney right now there have been a lot of outbreaks, and with like the new restrictions coming in, just a reminder that it's okay if you don't go out to a party for that 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, and if you do want to, just stick to the rules that they've set. There's now been a new...
Wear your masks, people!
It's
Don't
not
lose
hard
the $200
because...
bucks. It's not worth it.
Exactly, because I went out yesterday, and like on public transport, and not everyone was wearing a mask. Like most were. There was this one guy who wasn't. And when I was just walking around the streets, not everyone was wearing a mask too. So it's a bit like it's kind of concerning.
I mean, it's not
like,
mandated like outdoors.
It's
not,
only
but indoor settings.
It was like a
But I think like you have to be logical about it. Like if there's gonna be a lot of people there, then you should wear your mask if you're not able to keep your distance. And even if you are, like, just take that extra step and wear that mask.
It's not a big deal to wear a mask.
Like in indoor settings anyway.
It's like people do it all the time. It's just for your own safety. It's for your family's safety. It's for the safety of the community.
And like it's not like it's not a very expensive thing. Like I've recently when I've been taking the train, like at most stations they've been handing out free masks. Like it's not like, and like they just hold a bag of masks and they don't even use their hands to like grab it. They use a pair of like tongs and they pass it to you. And I'm like, yeah, if there's so many places kind of like offering them for free, you might as well do it. It's not like there's been a cost to you. It's actually benefiting you. It's protecting you and those around you.
I feel like that's a really unappreciated thing, that like masks are so accessible now and they're so affordable too. It's not like a crazy amount of money just to like protect yourself. It's like you can get it for less than $5. And with disposable ones,
yeah, you can get it.
If you take care of it and you put it in like a plastic bag and you don't like leave it around hanging in like unknown places, you can actually reuse them. It's safe to reuse them.
And also your mask is meant to cover your nose, so for anyone that's not wearing a mask properly, do it properly.
Okay, Well, the actual topic for today's episode, though, was we planned for it to be like a part two to our first episode, which was all about like the transition from high school to university. And before we actually get started, I wanted to share some kind of exciting news with everyone that we do have some future exciting plans, such as like collaborations with different podcasts, some of our friends. And we've also got an Instagram, which I don't think I've mentioned in the previous few episodes and the intro. But we do have an Instagram that is under the name 2.friendless friends. We couldn't get 2 friendless friends, and like, to be honest, the account has 0 followers, 0 posts, and 0 followings, and I'm just a bit.
Are you kind of salty?
I am, because I want that name, and I don't want to pay for it either. So yeah. I think I reported them.
You reported them? Okay. To remind everyone, this podcast is also available on Spotify, and I'm waiting on Apple Podcasts to review the our submission so that we can get it up there. But by the time this episode comes out, I'll probably have the result of that anyway. So check us out on both of those as well,
which will be linked in the description below. Anyway, so without further ado, let's actually get started on today's topic. I wanted to start off this episode by asking, like, basically, Kelly, like, what is your friendship situation and how has that changed throughout high school?
So, for those that don't know me, which is, like, most people that are listening, I transferred schools during high school, so that was a big change for me in terms of, like, finding new friends. Luckily, like, when I moved schools, I had a lot of friends from, like, my primary school that were there that I had kind of lost contact with, because back in the day, social media wasn't such a big thing, and I wasn't,
so
like...
old.
And we didn't have, like, those unlimited plans that we could text everyone every day. I was on prepaid. Like, I had $15 credit to use every 6 months. Like, that was, like, back in the day. I had no data.
That was me at the beginning of this year. I was on prepaid and no data. And I was like, okay, this is what it feels like to be privileged.
Yeah. And I think, like, basically, I reconnected with a lot of friends at that point. I made a few new friends. There were ups and downs. There was drama, like every single other high school. And I came out of high school with, like, a few close friends, but, like, I didn't really have any friends that were going to the same uni as me that I would, like, hang out with all the time. But there was this one girl that, like, was going to do the same degree as me. And so we ended up timetabling everything together. I think that was a really good decision in terms of, like, kind of, we supported each other, and, like, even when we couldn't really make new friends, like, we had each other there. It was a bit of a safety net, and in terms of, like, stuff that required any group work or partner work, we had, like, someone that we could rely on. And I think that's really important when you're moving into uni.
Before I did mention that I said something about this is what it feels like to be privileged. I don't want to be cancelled for anything. Just want to say that was a joke. I know I am privileged. But yeah, so you said that you had that one friend that you kind of timetabled everything with. Do you think that was a do you think that was like a bit of a barrier to finding new friends though?
I wouldn't call it a barrier because, like, there was no one that I really met in person that I could be friends with, like, properly at that time. Like, I think we went in and everyone already kind of had their little groups. And, like, okay, first term, the courses I did weren't all my comp sci courses. I didn't do any commerce courses at that point. And I noticed that a lot of the classes were, like, a majority male. And it just felt a bit Like, I was kind of used to it because, like, at my high school, it was a co-ed school. But, like, there was clearly more male than female in most grades. And like I don't think that was a really weird thing, but it was also like kind of, I don't know how I felt about like being in a tutorial where like there were, let's say, like 16 guys and 4 girls. Like that ratio is a bit off, right?
Right, yeah.
And I think that's just something that's going to be that will vary according to what degree you choose. And especially since like I'm in computer science, it's something that I had to be prepared for. But I wouldn't say that like just because I stuck with one person, I couldn't make friends with everyone else. It's just making friends is hard.
It is, and definitely like something to take into consideration is the fact that we weren't actually on campus in person for a long time. I think it was possibly like 5 weeks.
4 weeks?
4 or 5 weeks, yeah.
It was like the first half of the first trimester. Yeah. It was like, I think it was just before flexibility week, which is like kind of our mid-sem break.
Oh, no.
And I think we had flexi week was
I was still there.
Online.
Mine wasn't.
I think it was like right after flexi week when they were like all courses are going online.
Yeah, so like,
but like I think some of my courses like just before flexi week we were already told that it's going to be moved online.
And also in the first few weeks of any kind of course like tutorial, you'll see that there's a trend where people just kind of come and go because they're not sure whether they want to stay in that class or not. And because of that, it felt as though like every class there were like different people, and it was hard to make friends in a lot of the classes.
Yeah, I couldn't put names to faces.
Yeah, it was
so hard to put names to faces. It's like you see them for like 1 hour each week.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like,
and that's the thing.
I forgot everyone's names after like when I went back to like the second week's toots. I was like, wait, who are you? Sorry, I forgot your name. And everyone's like, I forgot your name too, it's fine. Like everyone forgot each other's name because we don't see each other that much in uni.
And with high school, it's not just that one class. Like you see people like in the playground, like you hear stories from other people. Like everyone kind of ends up knowing each other even though they're not in the same class. And everyone has school at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. There's that too. That made it a lot easier.
The thing is with uni, not everyone goes to uni on the same days. Like,
not everyone even goes to uni.
That's true. And like, plus in lectures, I think the size of my lectures varied from like 300 to 700 people, depending on which lecture it was. And like, basically, it's such a big group of people that you're kind of intimidated by it. And everyone seems to already have their groups when you walk in.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a proper group. It's mostly just like high school people sticking back together, even though they weren't that close. Like, I think that's what I really noticed. And I went into one lecture late on the first day. It was a Monday. And basically, I had a tutorial before it that ended a bit late, and then I went into the lecture slightly late, and my friends, I saw a few people that I recognized, but like they were already sitting together, and I was like, I don't want to go in there because, first of all, I'm not that close with them, and I just don't know. I didn't know how I felt about like sitting with them, so I just sat in this one seat, and then like a seat away from me was this other girl that was also sitting alone, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so since I'm not friends with anyone here, I might as well try and make a friend. And like I was like, hi,
the confidence.
How are you? What's your name? And like, what degree are you doing? And then she just ignored me.
Oh my gosh.
And then like the funniest thing is she was in my tutorial for that course as well.
Did she hear you?
She did hear me. She just looked at me and looked away.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it was obvious I was talking to her because there was no one else around me as well. I was on the, like, end seat of that row. And, like...
That's kind of rude.
I saw her so many times around uni. And, like, she was always alone, though. That was a kind of weird thing to me.
Or maybe she just really wasn't, like... She didn't feel like talking. Maybe she wasn't feeling it that
I don't
day.
know. I've also been told that I'm intimidating.
By how many people?
So, Because some people don't
Actually, quite a few.
Oh, okay.
Quite a few.
Well, I didn't think you were intimidating.
I think it's just because, like, I have such a strong personality.
Yeah, I do see that, not particularly you, but I do see that with a lot of people that have, like, the strong, outgoing, like, loud personalities, they do find them more intimidating.
Yeah, definitely. It's like,
But
I think it's also, like, you find people that are always, like, around others a bit more intimidating in the sense of, like, it's like, oh, they already have so many friends and I'm alone, like, should I even go up to them?
Yeah.
Like, there's that kind of mentality too.
But something that I really learned from my friend Jane is that it's, like, completely fine to literally just go up to a complete stranger and just be like, hi, my name is Flora, like, what's yours? And, like, just from that you can start, like, a friendship, because that's actually how I met a lot of people in uni. Even though there weren't a lot of opportunities to meet people, I actually met a lot of my friends through lectures rather than tutorials, which is normally opposite of what most people would say, because tutorials are a lot more, like, intimate, fewer people in that one class. Yeah.
You'd think that you would meet more people in tutorials because you're going to sit with them and work with them.
Yeah,
but, like,
exactly.
I guess in a sense, lectures you're sitting with them for a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly.
As well. Like, it's longer. And I think there's usually more lectures than tutorials in most courses anyway.
I started off doing, I mean, I was in media, and I think that's such a different, like, the structure is just a bit different to, like, a lot of other degrees or something, because it was just, like, 1 hour or, like, 2 hour lectures to a tutorial. Like, I just had 6, like, what are they called? Slots in my timetable. But yeah, it was good because there wasn't like lab or whatever other things you would have had to do. But
uni is weird. Let's just leave it at that.
But I do think that there are a lot of, like, pros with the fact that you don't really have, like, a set, like, it's different to high school, and I think it's good because that way you do actually have to be more independent. You also don't get confined to being in the same group of people, because I think a lot of people would say that they were friends with people in high school just because of the environment they were in. And a lot of people just kind of...
Yeah, I'd say the same.
Yeah, like, didn't you just kind of, like, lose contact with people after high school because you weren't in high school anymore, though?
I lost contact with basically everyone.
Yeah,
honestly.
yes, and that's
like,
normal.
I stay in contact with, like, a couple.
Like, honestly, you really only stay in contact and are still close with, like, 1 or 2, at least in my case anyway. And I think that it's...
Yeah, same with me.
I don't think it was really good to have, like, that long friendship where we both kind of knew that, like, because that way, like, you're not really friends with them. Would you say that?
I'd say, like, your acquaintances.
Like, if you're only friends,
you're more on the line of acquaintances than friends.
Yeah. Because with my high school group, a lot of them didn't actually end up going to UNSW, and if they did, they weren't on the same days that I was going. So I was kind of forced into, like, meeting new people, and I didn't really know anyone at UNSW. And something else that I wanted to mention is that a lot of people in your tutorial or lecture, you don't actually know how old they are, and that age gap I did find to be kind of, like, it was hard to go up to someone and just ask, like, how they are, try and make friends with them. And I think that really is true for, like, a first year student who's, like, I was 17 at that time, and, like, there were people who were, like, they looked like 20 something, and it was kind of scary just going up to them and, like, trying to make friends with them.
I don't know, like, I think maybe because all the courses I did were, like, the most basic level 1 courses that most people would do, like, first term, first year. So, like, for me, I think everyone around me was also a first year.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean
and
by, like... Yeah, sorry.
And, like, people that I thought weren't first years turned out to be first years anyway.
Because of, like, international students or, like...
Like, I think just some people look older than they are, some people look younger than they are. I think in one of my tutorials, there was a guy that, like, he was technically first year of computer science because he had transferred degrees.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
It was, like, his third year at uni, but he was also, like, a first year in terms of, like, education in that degree.
Oh, third year and starting a whole new degree?
Yeah, just swapped in the middle.
That's kind of brave.
Yeah, one of my cousins did that too. Like, I think he was like 1 year away from graduating, and then he went back and was like, "Nope, I'm swapping degrees."
Completely new?
And did another 3 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Ended up doing 6 years of uni.
I mean, I will be in... I feel like I'll be there for like 5.
Yeah, you'll be there for maybe like 4 and a bit. Not necessarily like 5 whole years.
No. It will definitely be 4 and a bit. I don't know if I can fit it into 4, but...
Maybe if you do summer courses, maybe it will fit.
The thing about summer courses is that they changed it. So they fit like a whole term into 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And it used to be 6 weeks with like semesters. I don't want to go through that stress.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to go through that, but I'm also so bored right now. I mean, like, I probably would be less bored if we were able to go out and, like, stuff, but yeah.
But do you think that with you having like more experience in the uni environment now, plus like the societies that you're in, do you think that that's going to help you with your friend situation?
I think societies are a really big part of making friends at uni and making connections and networking. I think, like, at the beginning when, like, uni was online, but I don't think we were technically locked down yet. I could still see people going out with, like, their societies. Like, people from their societies. Yeah. People in subcoms. Like, the entire, like, there's a group there that goes out. Like, I saw that a lot, and I was like, should I have joined something? But then I wasn't really bothered at the same time. Because I'm not really an extracurricular kind of person, right? Like, I'm the kind of person...
Neither was I.
I'm like, do the bare minimum. Let's just get through uni. And I think I prioritize, like, work experience over, like, social experience.
Yeah. They're not really also... Okay, well, honestly, like, doing subcom... I don't think that you really have much commitment to do. It feels like you're just with friends. But from a recruiter's point of view, it's like, whoa, you're so cool. You're, like, in societies doing, like...
Except, like...
yeah.
I don't know, because, like, wouldn't recruiters have also gone through the same process?
I don't actually know. It just sounds fancy, though, you know, like...
Yeah, it does sound fancy, like, having...
It sounds more fancy than it really is. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's the same with a lot of stuff. I think there are some roles that are, like, actually, like, really time consuming, and but that's more like the exec roles instead of, like, the subcom and, like, the head roles. I want to go for an exec role though.
You do?
Like, now that I've kind of, like, experienced, like, the society, like, okay, I'm not really into a lot of the societies at uni, like, it's mostly because I don't necessarily vibe with the people in those societies.
At uni?
Like,
what? There's so many societies, though.
Like, let's just talk in general, like, what about, like, those faculty societies? Like, basically, I'm Commerce Computer Science, which it means I'm in the School of Business and Engineering. BSOC, which is, like, the Business Society at UNSW. I don't vibe with them.
Okay, there's like a whole stereotype with BSOC people. I think it's like the LGs, LBs,
there's gonna be other people that are like me in BSOC, but they're not the type to get involved because they don't fit into that stereotype. Like, the people that actually do get involved and will attend events and stuff, the ones that you will meet at events fit into that stereotype a lot of the time. And those are just not the people I like. And then, like, there's...
Hey, what do you mean? I'm doing the BSOC thing.
No, but you're not, like, the BSOC stereotype.
Yeah. Because, like, I signed up for this...
Like, you really are.
Yeah. That's why I'm like... I'm kind
You're
of
kind of regretting it.
I'm not like regretting it because I feel like it'll be fun. And I do feel like I vibe with them to an extent. Like
To an
there are
extent,
some
like,
people, obviously.
yeah. I think
No, like as individuals, they're all definitely like people that I could get along with very well. But if you just viewed them as the stereotype, like the going out to raves, drinking every night, which is like I don't see a problem in that, but just not some. I'm trying to be like
it's just not something we would like.
I don't care. Like you do
It's
you.
not something we would want to do.
But it's not something that I would personally want to do. But like you do it, and that's fine.
It's like you do you. Like
no, seriously.
It's like if I see my friends going out drinking, I think there's some extent that I'll judge them in terms of like if they're going out like that every day, then like yeah, I'll judge them. Like it's like why are you doing this?
There might be a problem there.
Instead of studying, like it's like especially like now like with corona, like I see these people going out in large groups, going to each other's places in large groups, and I'm like bro, like I counted your heads, there's more than 10 people there, and you can't say you all live there because I know you don't.
No, okay,
like,
but that's understandable because that's like for the safety of everyone in that community. But like judging if someone just goes out drinking every night, I feel like that's a bit like if it doesn't really affect you, and like like your priorities are studies.
It really depends on context.
I only judge when they're like 16 and they're out like smoking, and I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Please, like
I think there's also a part of me that's envious of that, like having that kind of thing, like
that lifestyle.
I think there's just that, like being able to afford to go out every day without worrying about like other stuff, in a sense, like
the freedom,
just having like being able to do that in terms of like freedom and financial freedom and like freedom from like parents and stuff. I'm slightly envious of that, but I'm also like I'm working towards my own goal, and because I'm just not able to do that now, but maybe I'll be able to do that in the future.
Exactly.
I think like everyone has different priorities, and we need to kind of respect that. And if someone says that they can't go out, don't push them. Like just respect their boundaries in a sense. And like if someone says they can't go out, especially in like the current setting, they might have some family member that's like they have health issues and they don't want to risk it. No matter how few cases there are, coronavirus is still out there. Like it's not gonna be over for a long time, and we have to respect what other people prioritize in their lives.
Well, has that ever happened to you? Like people like trying to force you to go out? Not force, but trying to like convince you to go out even though you've clearly said, no, I don't want to?
Yes. Many times. I think I was slightly uncomfortable with like saying no at first. Like this was like pre-pandemic though. Like this was like year 12 to beginning of this year. I think at that point I was very strict on myself, and my parents were a lot stricter on me like at that point too. And people were like, "Oh, Kelly, stop being such a like spoil sport. Like
a what?
Stop like studying so hard.
A swasp ball.
And spoil sport, like just
okay
like they were just being like they were kind of like guilt tripping me into going out with them, and I was like, bruh, no. And like they kept saying that to me, and like I think the more that I got that message from them, the more that like I was like, no, I'm not going out with you, stop asking. Like you're not gonna convince me, because I have stuff I want to do right now, and that's not going out with you guys at night, like drinking and stuff. Like that's just not what I want to do right now, and that's not what I can do right now.
And there's also like the potential pathway that someone might take if their friends keep pressuring them, which is to like blame their parents and be like, why are you not letting me go out with my friends because of like them pressuring them. Do you know what I mean?
I think I got a bit like that, like when my parents refused to let me go out at night, like, I understood where they were coming from in terms of, like, safety.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not gonna be alone. Like, I'm gonna be in a big group of people. And I don't think that it's that unsafe. Like, because
Oh, this
I think
isn't.
it depends where you are.
This is just about going out at night in general, right? Not about like.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
I think, like, in the city, a lot of time at night, there's still a lot of people there. And, it's like, if you're not in, like, a really suburban residential area, there's gonna be a lot of people there, like, later at night. And it's okay to be out there, but, like, I think I blamed my parents a bit for that in terms of, like, not letting me do that because they were scared that something would happen to me. I see it from their point of view because they rarely go out at night, and, like, the only, like, view of going out at night is, like, those news stories about, like, people being kidnapped and, like, raped and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
there was I think there was a bit of a phase where, like, a lot of those news stories were going around, and that's how my parents got really scared. And I think, like, I accept that, but I'm like, you also have to trust me to stay safe and know how to defend myself, in a sense. And you have to trust me to be, like, that I will stick with the correct people.
Yeah, there's definitely like a it's hard to balance between like what your parents want and what you want because of like respecting the elders, which is like I think a lot of times I don't think the parents really, well, from like a lot of stories I've heard and from my own experience, that like I can see where my parents are coming from, but I don't think they even try to see where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Because
I get that too.
like kind of like you two, I wasn't ever allowed to like go out at night, and honestly still to this day it's like it's gotten better. Like the curfew time is kind of pushed back a bit, but still not. Actually, I'm kind of fine with where it's at. I'm not complaining at all.
I mean, like, any later, I personally would feel weird, like, being out, I think.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, what am I meant to do at like 1 a.m? You know, I don't
Like, I would never go past 12 a.m.
It's not like I have friends anyway. Two friendless friends, right?
Yes. I mean, like, honestly, when we go out, we don't go out at night. Like, we go out during the day.
Yeah. And also with like the friends that you hang around with, that's going to contribute to how you see this, like the way that you see your parents' point of view. Because I did have a friend who kind of went out a lot at night, and therefore like she would invite me to go out at night, and it was kind of hard to like reason with my parents why. But it's like if I was with like different friends who enjoyed more like going out during the day, then it would be easier to manage. And like because of that, like I'm not at all blaming this friend. It was just because it was like a catalyst, like the friend. But like I really wanted to go out at night, and because of that, I like for a long time I would kind of like get really mad at my parents because they wouldn't let me go out, and I'd be like, why do you just not trust me? Like I definitely see where they were coming from because of like safety and whatever, but it was still hard to like tell them that this is how I felt.
And, like, I think in a sense, it wasn't even just the friends that we hang out with. It's like, because social media has gotten so big in our lives, it's like the friends that we follow, like, not even just the friends that we talk to a lot, like, like basically seeing these people, you know, post stories and stuff about like, oh, going out to dinner all the time. It's like just seeing that as well. It's like I feel like I want to do that too, but like first of all, going out at night means you're gonna get dinner, you're probably gonna get drinks, you're gonna go like desserts, and like you're gonna do stuff that might cost you a lot. Like going out in general costs a lot, like in a day. I think unless you plan it out properly, like a picnic and like stuff like that could cost less. But I think a lot of these things that I've seen people do definitely would cost a lot. And I'm like, I don't think I personally can afford that in terms of
Yeah, because
I don't want to spend that money
oh
that
yeah, I can see
frequently.
where you're coming from. And
I don't think it's
honestly,
worth it.
kind of similar to you because I would always kind of like view these stories online and feel a bit jealous because they had the ability to like go out a lot, spend a lot of money, and like it got to a point where like, and I'm not blaming them at all, but it got to a point where like when I would go out too, I would be viewed as like the frugal friend who would like to like save a lot of money. Literally, like one time I was playing this game with a friend. It was like who knew who best. It was in a group setting, and then it came to my question, and it was like, what is Flora most afraid of? And then someone were like spending money, and I was like, okay then. Like I didn't get her, but it was like kind of funny too.
In terms of spending money, I'd say like because I don't go out that frequently, I'm willing to spend a little bit more when I do go out. Like, I'm like, it's like because this is like a kind of rare thing for me, I'm willing to like experience a bit more, do a bit more, and then like go home and like chill.
I think we're like dipping into another topic that we had planned for later on, which is all about like finance and the way that we grew up and how that has impacted where we are now. So maybe we shouldn't talk too much about it and go back to like
okay.
Sorry.
I'll bring our story back.
Okay, sure.
It's really important when you look at your own friends, like don't let yourself get pressured to go out because you're seeing all these people go out. Like don't let yourself feel pressured to kind of go with the crowd. You do you and people will like you. Like that's all this is what I've learned over time. Like just be yourself. Let the haters hate. Like no one cares about them. Just do you, and like there will always be people around you that will support you, and if the people that are currently around you won't support you, then they're not your real friends. Like your friends would support you no matter what you do, in a sense.
Yeah, like the way that
if you're being like reasonable.
Yeah, that's true. The way that I see it is
like your friends shouldn't support you if you're trying to do something illegal, but like yeah.
Sure. No, that sounded so sarcastic. I didn't mean it like that, but like I get what you mean. But something that I have learned last year is that like you really do attract the people who are similar to you. And so I don't think you should mold yourself to fit the people around you, but more like just like filter them out then. Like it doesn't have to be like a big conflict or anything. Like
you don't have to be like, oh, bye, like screw you, bye.
Yeah.
Like you just distance yourself from them like naturally.
Yeah.
And like I think generally if you're not put in a setting where you have to talk to those people, you won't talk to them. Like I think in lockdown I realized how many people I wouldn't usually talk to, like if I was like just if I had the choice.
Exactly.
Like a lot of people I kept talking to because like I was put in an environment that like kind of pushed me to talk to them. But like during lockdown, like I didn't have to talk to them. I didn't need to because they didn't do my degree. I didn't see them. So like I found myself realizing, oh, maybe this friend isn't like really a friend and slightly more of an acquaintance. And maybe, oh, this friend is like more of a friend because I don't just talk about uni and work with them. Like there was that difference for me.
If you really feel like you can bond with them on another level and you can bring that friendship outside of the environment where you met, then I can consider them like a proper friend.
Like, I'd say like, weirdly, I spent a lot of, well, like, it's weird to call 2020 last year, but it is. But I spent like the first half of my 2020 feeling really alone and not really having friends. And then, like, I met you, right? And then I was like, yeah, maybe I'm meeting new people. And then, like, I went into, like, law review and I met more people. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure if these people are going to be my friends because I'm not sure if I would talk to them outside the context of review. Except, like, some of them I do talk to outside of the context of review, and I find that really cool. And I also kind of, like, started talking to an old friend again. I think you know which one I'm talking about, but I won't mention the name.
I actually don't.
You do.
Okay. Does he have dyed hair?
No. Who has dyed hair?
I don't know.
Wait, who do I know that has dyed hair?
I'm seeing a person in my head with...
But, like, yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, let's continue. So, like, I had a falling out with this friend at the beginning of last year, and...
Oh, you're talking about this person?
Yes, I'm talking about that person!
I thought you were...
So basically, yeah, I kind of reconnected with this other person. It's still slightly weird, uncomfortable for me, because I'm not sure, like, if other people are gonna be accepting of this friendship, but...
Wait, okay. What do you mean by other people? Like, who cares about other people?
True, no one cares about other people. I don't care.
Exactly.
Except maybe...
Yeah. You do you. Quoted by
I'll
Kelly.
do me. Yes. But I think, like, with a lot of friendships, here's the thing. I think people kind of view friendships as, like, oh, you give everything in and stuff like that, right? Like, give it all your all.
Yeah.
But... the thing is, not everyone that you meet will be willing to give the same back to you.
Yes. Are we having another friendship episode? Because I feel like I need to dive into this topic that you just kind of brought up, which is about...
maybe this episode's going to be really long.
Okay, sure.
But I think there's just this lasting point that I want to talk about friendship is make sure you guys are putting in equal effort into the friendship. Like... okay, it's like, it's not about who starts conversations more often. It's about, like, how willing you guys are, like, to meet up, do stuff for each other. It's like, don't put yourself in a position where you're doing everything for this other person and the other person is purely benefiting. What's that, like, biology term? Like, you know, the...
Oh, the mutual...
the mutual thing. The parasite.
Yeah.
Don't let them be a parasite to you, okay?
Wait, this is gonna bug me that I can't actually think of the word. Because there's, like, the three things where it's, like, one's, like, you're both benefiting.
Yeah, that thing. I'm talking about that. I think it's, like, a parasite, mutual, and something else or something.
I literally saw this word, like, yesterday, and I don't remember why I saw this word. But, okay, it's so weird. But I actually, that's like one of the biggest lessons that I learned last year, because throughout the year I was really close with this one friend, and I realized that honestly we weren't compatible for each other, and it took a really long time to realize that, because it wasn't really anything that went wrong, like a fight where like you can instantly see that something has gone wrong, but it was just like a subtle things that kind of like I saw and then I kind of ignored for a lot. And something that really broke the friendship was when I realized, like, okay, I think I'm not getting what I need out of this friendship. Like, my expectations aren't being met and they aren't willing to put in this effort. And honestly, that's completely fine. I don't see them as a bad person at all. I just think that we just had different expectations. And a lot of times in these kind of like falling out situations, it's not like a good person, bad person situation. I think a lot of the times it's really about like how you view it.
Compatibility.
And it's really about compatibility though. Like you can't be compatible with every single person that you meet.
Yeah, like, it's not like you're gonna walk down the street and everyone around you is gonna love you. Like, I think in a sense, like, it hurts more to lose someone that you're not compatible with than it is to, like, have a fight with someone and fall out.
Oh my gosh, yes, because, like, with the compatible
it's basically
part,
like a breakup.
Like, oh my gosh,
friendship breakups hurt more than relationship breakups. That's what I've learned.
I've had, like, an hour conversation with a friend about this exact topic, where the friendship breakups hurt more than relationship. Also, guys, leave it
I
in
think
the...
we had a conversation too.
Did we? Leave in the comments though.
I think we did.
I kind of want to know what your thoughts are. But I would...
Which ones hurt more, friendship breakups or relationship breakups?
I remember this thing that Taylor Swift once said. She was talking about the song that she wrote called Death by 1,000 Cuts, and it was based on this movie called like Something Great or Someone Great. I can't really remember, but basically the movie is about like these two people, and the guy just falls out of love. And she was saying how this is like the worst kind of breakup because nothing really goes wrong. Like it was kind of like a natural thing that happened. Like time did its thing, and now you're just not really at that moment. You're not compatible for each other. It's those kind of like breakups that hurt the most, when nothing goes wrong, but you realize that like you're just not good for each other. And staying in that kind of relationship is probably it is toxic, I think, because you're wanting what you can't get, and then you're just hurting yourself with your own expectations.
I think like in a sense, it's like I feel like things hurt more when you can't like pinpoint something to blame them on. Yeah. Like you don't have anything to direct your like sadness at. So you're just sad. Like you're just straight up sad. And that's like what it hurts most.
Straight up sad, sorry.
It's like you're just sad. You're not sad about like
no.
And it's not tangible. Like it's not something tangible.
Sad? What does that mean?
It's like it's kind of like in a sense, it's like you don't have anything to blame. You can't blame the other person. I
think that's also a coping mechanism for a lot of people, that they find something to blame because it's just easier to deal with.
Yeah, and when you lose that coping mechanism, it's so much harder to get over.
Yeah. Because it is really hard. And this morning, I was literally in my bed just thinking about kind of a similar thing to what we're currently talking about, which is why I call... Okay, so the friend that I mentioned before that I used to be really close with, I don't say his name. And I was asking myself why I don't say his name. And instead, I use a nickname for him. And I realized it's because this nickname that I use, it's usually one that is said like behind their back. So it's like when I talk about him, if I talk about this friend to you, Kelly, I'll say this code name, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm talking to his face, I'll say his actual name. And when I'm talking about him to other people, usually the things I say aren't like particularly like too happy. Yeah, they have like negative connotations with it, right? But despite all this, I still don't think he's like a bad person at all. And I don't... Because
you don't link those things back to that name, right? Like,
well, like, I created this analogy where it was basically like, so there were the good memories, okay? And let's place them in like your left hand. And then you have the bad memories, which you just place in your right hand, okay? What I've done in my head, and these two like memories, they've created this person for you, okay? That is just like in the middle of these two hands, okay? What I've just done is just place the bad memories in front of the good ones, and it hasn't changed the way that I see this person, but it just helps me remember the bad ones more, just so I can like cope with losing this friendship a bit easier.
And I think like
I don't know if that sounds a bit like...
It kind of makes sense to me. I think there's also another aspect of friendship where like you really have to think about it in transactions. I think this is like, this kind of like, to some people might make it seem like my friendships aren't real and like I'm breaking them down to like physical things. But I think like it's like if you buy a box of eggs, you're giving the shop owner money and you get eggs. It's like you both get something in return. And in a sense, like that's kind of how you want your friendships to work. You want to give something and get something back. You don't have to like physically get something back. Like maybe you give someone something, and like the gratitude that they show will be like what you get in return, and like you both feel valued.
That's the only way relationships can work.
It's not about like
any relationships.
It's not about like, oh, you have to both give each other like super expensive gifts or anything. It's about gratitude. And I think, like, in, like, year 12, I couldn't afford much. I didn't have much money. Like, my parents didn't really give me, like, allowance or anything, right? And basically, there was this really close friend's birthday coming up. I think I'll tell you who this is later. You probably can guess, right? And, like, it's like we only just started talking for a couple months, right? But, like, we were really close, and, like, I was so stuck on what to get him for his birthday. Because I was like, I want to give something good, something kind of big, like, in terms of, like, I want to show them that I value them, in a sense.
I remember the story, though.
But, like, I couldn't afford anything big, right?
I have come up with, like, a mental list of gifts to give someone if you can't really afford to spend too much, that are still, like, really memorable. And one of them, if you like editing, sorry. Maybe I should... I'll just quickly say this. If you like editing or you know how to edit, like, put together, like a picture and then, like, print it on a mug. Because that's what I did.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, I made a mug for a friend. And I put together, like, a lot of edits. Like, I edited, like fan edits. But, yeah, sorry. Continue.
Oh, that's cute. But basically, I was so stuck. I was like, what can I give this person? And I came up with cookies. Like, I baked cookies for this person, packaged them nicely. Like, packaging didn't cost much. Like, the gift bag and then, like, you know the stuffing foam thingies?
The one that looks like peanuts?
The ones that you usually... Yeah, the packing peanuts. But, like, these ones were, like, different colours and cutely shaped, right?
Oh, okay.
I bought a pack of those and a bag, and, like, I just put them in with the cookies.
Yeah.
And, like, it was really cute and packed up, and it looked, like, really nice. I was really happy with it. And I think, like, just seeing someone else enjoy eating those cookies and, like, actually appreciating that you went to the effort to make something for them, although it didn't cost you much, it's more valuable than, like, getting someone, like, a name brand handbag or something.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's way more valuable. Even if it's something that you would normally give them, it still, like, reminds them that you're still thinking of them. And I don't think you have to go all out for special occasions like that.
Yeah, and as someone who has, like, a love language of gift giving, I think that it's quite, like, shallow if the only thing you like is name brand things. Because I personally find it, I love giving gifts because I love, like, thinking about, like, what they like and, like, figuring out a present that would, like, suit their personality. Like, it can be material things, definitely, but I would rather get, like, a pack of cookies than, like, a gift card or money, because to me those are, like, just cop-out gifts. Those are like, okay, I have to give you a gift, I can't think of anything, so here, just take this. Whereas, like, cookies is, like, I don't know, it's a bit more, like, personal.
You went to the effort to make it, like, yeah. And I think, like, the only people that I really get money from is my parents, like, in terms of gifts. Because I think, like, at a certain age, your parents stop really knowing what you want. Yeah. And instead, they're like, oh, here's some money. Like, and it's in a red pocket. And, like, I think in Asian culture, like, it's, like, generally, like, good luck and stuff, right? So, like, in that sense, they're still thinking of you, and, like, your parents will go through the effort to cook you a good meal on your birthday. Like, I think there's that tradition of eating noodles and stuff. Like, I think...
Is that, like, for everyone?
Like, there's that kind of thoughtfulness.
For everyone? Eating noodles?
I think, wasn't there that thing? It's like, you eat a noodle without biting through it, and you'll have a long life or something. Like,
Oh, I've never heard of that.
I heard of that from, like, something. I don't know where. But I think my family has a tradition of, like, having, like, noodles on someone's birthday.
That's so cute, though.
It's, like, little things like that. Even if, like, you normally have noodles, it's special, like, because it's someone's birthday. It doesn't have to be anything big.
Yeah.
I'm someone that does like name brand stuff, right? In a sense, like, I don't think my friends need to get that stuff for me for my birthday.
They can do something quick and easy for you still to, like, appreciate it and still feel like the friendship is strong.
Because I can get that stuff for myself. That's not what I want from my friends. Like, what I want from my friends is just, like, a little reminder that they're thinking of me. Like, even just, like, people posting on my timeline or messaging me saying happy birthday, or, like, my friend posting a weird-ass picture of me on Facebook. That I appreciate that because it's like they went through the effort to try and find that photo of me that I sent them like ages ago. Like, I think
It's kind of
there's something
special.
really different in that
It is.
instead of like a weird gift.
Yeah, yeah,
A weird,
for sure.
like, I'd rather not get a like name brand handbag and get like my friends to like just say happy birthday to me. There's a difference.
There definitely is. Because when I think back to like the happiest day of my life, there's only like a few that really pop up. I know there are definitely more, but there are a few that like instantly come to mind. And one of them was my birthday, my 18th birthday. And on that day,
My 18th birthday was funny.
why was your 18th birthday funny?
It was the physics HSC exam.
Oh, that's so sad. I did a chem
I think
exam.
my birthday for like a lot of years landed on yearly exams as well.
Oh.
Or like result time, basically.
Oh, that's... I mean, you did well. Were you happy with your marks?
Yeah, I was fine.
Okay, good. No need to cry then. I'm pretty sure on my 17th birthday I cried so much because it was my... I did 2 tests. I did like a Oh, I can't even remember. I think I did like a business and then I did like a chem exam. And chem is... It's a beautiful subject. It's so interesting. I just can't understand
Chem
it.
is so nice.
But yeah, so like on my 18th birthday this year, and it's really memorable for me because I remember my mum, she spent like the entire morning and like up until like lunchtime making this like new food for me. And it was like this, I don't even, I think it was called like, no, cannot, like, no, yeah, I can't remember what it's called. But it was kind of like sushi, but not really.
Yeah.
It was wrapped in that shape. But anyway, she just spent a lot of effort on it. And like, that's why it's so memorable to me. And like for my cake, we didn't like go out and buy any like special cake or anything. It was literally just like a, do you know the pandan like sponge cakes?
Like the Sally brand ones?
There's a brand? I thought,
Yeah.
there's a,
The most iconic one is the Sally brand of cakes.
I don't even know what that.
It looks like a little bread loaf, right?
No, I'm thinking of like the chif, how do you pronounce it? Oh my gosh, I'm actually gonna get like
Chiffon cake?
yeah, in like the circle shape, and it has like a hole in
Oh,
the middle.
like the big one, not the little ones.
Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty easy to make, and it's not anything like really pretty on the outside, but it's like one of my favorite cakes ever because I just love pandan so much, and that's why that day is so like special to me, and it's like definitely something that I'm going to keep on remembering as the years go on. This is a long episode.
I think there's just something really special. Yeah, I think we should end it soon. But like, just to sum up everything, like in terms of friends, just make sure you're not with someone that like is taking a lot from you but isn't giving much back in terms of effort. And
Or even
just
the other
make
way
sure...
around.
Huh?
Like, if you feel like that, if you're friends with someone who's putting a lot in, but you don't really feel like you want to put in the same effort, that's fine too. It just means that you two aren't on the same page, and it's also okay to like cut the
Distance
friendship
yourself
off,
from
even
them?
though it's going to be like really really sad for the other person.
Yeah, it's good for both of you to cut that friendship off in the sense that like...
It is really really
Because
good.
personally, you're gonna feel like in debt.
Debt.
Like, you're gonna feel like you owe them something
Yeah.
in terms of the friendship. And I don't think that's a feeling that... It's gonna do shit to you. Like, it's not gonna be good for you. And I shouldn't swear.
It's not healthy for anyone.
Yeah. But basically, just make sure that everything is even in the friendship. Not necessarily about, like, your social status and stuff, but, like, how much you both value the friendship.
Yeah. Because it's just not going to get to a good place, because with that one friend from last year, we kind of ended it at the very last few days of 2020, and ever since then my mental health has just gotten so much better. And I was on the side where like I was putting in a lot more than he was willing to put in. And so ever since like we decided, and honestly, it doesn't have to end in like a fight or anything. We literally ended it just by saying, hey, I don't think we should really talk right now because it's not healthy for both of us. And I don't think I actually told you this.
I don't think you told me.
I don't think I told you this story. But yeah, that's how...
But it's fine.
Oh. So basically what they texted me was, I don't think it's really healthy for both of us to be in this friendship right now. I think that like for now we shouldn't really talk, and maybe possibly in the future. And basically I said the exact same thing back to them, and I genuinely meant everything that I said. And then I ended it with just like a good luck for everything, like I hope you're doing well, and then I just put them on my ignore list because I don't really want to like
maybe in the future like I think just because you're not compatible with someone at the current time, it's not like you're not gonna be compatible with them later on as well.
This brings up the question of, do you believe in love at first sight? But I think that's gonna be too long for this one episode.
That's not friends, bruh.
Hey, you can love your friends.
But yeah, we love it. We love our friends. All 0 of them. But basically, just to sum up, I think I just said that, but we want to make sure that like everyone feels comfortable in their friendships, and it's really important to just look back on your own friendships and kind of realize which ones are like the ones that are valuable to both of you, and which ones are the ones that you think, oh, maybe this will like ruin my mental health, and you want to avoid those basically, because it's not worth it. It's just not worth it, speaking from experience. But yeah, like just
even if they bring you temporary happiness, like it's not going to be good in the long term. And it's totally okay if you feel like you're also in a position where like where you feel like you're not really, where you don't really have like close friends right now, and that's okay because we've both been through that, and I think we're in a better place now with our friendships, right? Like you get through it. You definitely do.
I think like you get through it and you meet people that who knows if these people that I've met like are gonna be my friends forever. Like who knows if you and I will be always friends. But like it's like in a sense like we know that right now we're giving each other like equal amounts of attention, and like it's like we don't feel like anything is taken away from us by this friendship. And that's what's most important in like the current time, because you have to accept that you're not going to be friends with everyone forever, and that's just a reality with how life works and how people go down different paths. And it's important to like value the friendships now, deal with the future when the future comes.
And if you guys want to hear more about like relationships, we do have future episodes about like romantic relationships, which we will get into, as well as like professional
breakups.
Oh yeah, like professional work relationships, because that's something that we're interested in talking about. And I just wanted to say and finish this episode off by saying thank you to everyone who joined us for the first and introduction episode. And I hope you stick around for future ones, because it's just going to get better from here. And that's coming from like us. Like I don't think, like realistically, I don't think that we're doing everything like the best that we could right now. We do have like improvements, and we're looking to like put our podcast on like different platforms, increase like our activity with like social media as well, and like collaborations for the future. So we have like a lot of exciting plans, and we would really like it if you guys stayed for that. So once again, thank you so much for watching and listening this episode, and we'll see you in a week.
See ya.
Bye everyone.